I have a simple and delicious vegetarian side celebrating and showcasing two main ingredients. So the first thing that we're going to do is roast our whole pumpkin. So we're going to cut it into quarters. Now a little bit of olive oil over the top of all of these. And spices really love pumpkin. So our spice of choice today is cinnamon. So we're gonna put a little bit on our pumpkin. Seems like a lot, but we really want it to sort of slowly roast, collapse, become one with the cinnamon. I have some salt as well, which is gonna counteract some of the bitterness in that cinnamon can sometimes have. But especially as that pumpkin roasts and caramelizes, it'll have a similar kind of sensation to salted caramel, which is, as we know, quite delicious. So we've got our cinnamon oiled salted pumpkin. We're gonna pop it into the oven, about 160 for 90 minutes. If it needs a little bit more, please, by all means, give it the time that it needs. Whilst our pumpkin is roasting, we can prepare our two toppings. The first thing that we're going to do is put our orange juice on. I'm going to use the juice and the zest of 3 oranges. I want our orange juice to reduce to about half before we add the butter and make a really thick, creamy orange butter sauce. I've got some water on the boil here and some iced water to refresh in. So this is the first step for us to prepare our orange zest. So I'm gonna pop it all straight into the strainer to save us a couple steps. So we're going to blanch it and refresh it 3 to 6 times. This is really softening the zest and reducing all of the bitterness that is in there. So our zest has had about 5 blanches and refreshes. So I'm now just gonna drain this because we want it to be really dry before the next process, which will give us enough time to sort of let that pumpkin cook a little bit further. We'll check it after about an hour, make sure it's well on its way to being roasted and soft and gooey on the inside. So our first garnish, we've got a dry fry pan. So we'll pop all of those into the pan and we're going to stir them quite consistently so that the sugar or the sweetener sticks to and candies our pepitas and our zest. The sugar is starting to dissolve, so it's getting sticky as it gets heated. And normally if you're making a kind of caramel, you wouldn't stir it because it disrupts it, but we actually do want it to crystallize, which is why I continue to agitate it. All right, so while that's happening, we've got our butter into our orange juice here that would have concentrated and become a little bit bitter over time. So we will adjust with more salt if we need to. So these are gonna crisp up even further on cooling, but we do want to toast them slightly. So you might get a little bit of caramelization and color. And I'm going to take this off the heat. There's enough heat in there now. We're gonna blitz it. So our sugar or our stevia has gone from a granulated form to a liquid form as we've added heat, and because we've continued to agitate it, it has gone back to a crystallized form. So now we have these sort of crunchy, toasty pepitas. So that's sort of going to become our topping. We just want to let it cool. We'll get our pumpkin out of the oven and then we'll start to plate up. So I'm going to put a little bit of sauce on the bottom of our plate and then I'll drizzle a little bit more over the top. There is my celebration of 2 ingredients, 2 different ways. So we've got our pumpkin and our pepitas, and then we've got our orange sauce and our orange zest. I think this is a really exciting way for you to give really simple ingredients, who doesn't recognize pumpkin and orange, a bit of a new life and a celebration, something for you to try at home or for some guests. I think you're gonna love it.